Hey guys, welcome back. This is Art. Welcome back. Thanks to the summer cold, which I still have, been congested for like over a week. No, and this weather keeps changing. This summer's been a really weird summer, where it would be 80 or 90 degrees in the daytime, then it dropped down to 50 at night, and that really messes up my sinuses. Like most summers, it will be like 90 and it might drop to 70 in the night or whatever, but this was crappy. Now, what happened is I've been buying some comic books lately, searching for some older stuff because it's nostalgia. Some of these comics that I just gotten, they're from either from the 80s to the 90s, from the 70s to the 90s. Yeah, just because. Okay. So some of these have really good meaning for me. Either I had them at one time and I found them again, or just just kind of curious. This first one is a Fantastic Four 348. Hate the glare. Hate the glare. I hate the glare. Now, if you see this, this is not the original Fantastic Four. This has been a substitute team. You got the Hulk, Wolverine, Spiderman, and Ghost Rider. When they did this storyline back in the day, it was like in the 90s, it was big. This was a huge hit comic book back in the day. And this is the second part to it. It was only two issues they had it. And of course they had to have a appearance by the Punisher, of course. Trying to make the guy popular back then. And you see the regular Fantastic Four with the Fantastic Four. So it was kind of funny. Because these two books right here was super hot back in the day. They're not as hot now. They're not very hot now, but it's still, to my opinion, a very good book. Let's open up this. I got that the other day in the mail. And I got these three packages today in the mail, so that was kind of cool. I've been into some auctions lately. So I'm trying to get some good stuff from auctions and everything. Get it for cheap. I mean, it's not like I like cheap comic books, but why pay more than you really have to? You know what I'm saying? Why pay more if you really have to? If a book is $25, why would you buy it for 50? You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. This next one, I actually did have this back in the day. And like I said, a lot of my comic books back from the 90s was destroyed in my dad's basement. My dad's basement flooded. I was in Japan during an exchange student, and during that time he had a big ass, his basement flooded, and I had about like 400 or 500 comic books down there in the basement. Like 50 of them survived. So, and some of those books were actual bangers, and some were not. So then I had to try to rebuy all those stuff back again, and it was kind of stressful. But half of them I just said I don't care anymore. They're not, because after a while you look at it and say it's not worth anything. But the problem is, it was during my college education. Sometimes to get a breather, you read a comic book or something like that. So this one right here is Peter Parker's The Spectacular Spider-Man 116 in a black costume fighting against Sabretooth. I remember buying this off the I remember going to 7-Eleven and buying this when I was a kid. Yeah, 7-Eleven used to carry comic books. 7-Eleven and there was certain bookstores. They carry comic books like this, and that's what they call newsstand prices. There's direct market and there's newsstand. The funny thing is, some newsstand comics are worth more than the actual local direct market comics because there's a lower print run, which is kind of funny. I don't even remember what this story was about, but I just remember it was kind of cool because Sabretooth was hot at the time. And of course, this is Spider-Man in the black costume. Not the alien symbiote, but the black costume. Not the Venom costume. But it was pretty cool. See, I've been busy. Ooh. That would have been tragic if I actually did what I thought I did. Because this is one book right here. I don't know if this is the one I'm looking for. Because, like I said, I get messages. Oh, this one was shit. This one, you just got this one. You just got this one. This one came in the mail. This one came in the mail. This one came in the mail. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I won this at an auction. Man, I remember buying this and reading this to death. The funny thing is, back then in the 70s to the early 80s, I'll buy a comic book from a store. Okay, well, I'll show you. Let's say, for example, see this. If you notice, this book right here, 116. This is only 75 cents. So imagine every week. See, every week you go to 7-Eleven to see if you can find some things. You know, my dad used to take us to this bookstore called Little Professor back in the day. It was a small bookstore that sold a whole variety of different books. So, you know, as a treat for us being good and everything, he'll take us there and we'll buy comic books or something. Other than that, I had to ride my bike up to 7-Eleven to find new comics and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what happened. This right here is Fantastic Four 177. This one right here is like 30 cents. Now back then I was into almost every little thing, and you know, of course, the little glare, you know, which is kind of cool and also. Now the reason why I loved this book was funny to me. This book was so funny was that this group called the Frightful Four. They're a bunch of four villains who fight against the Fantastic Four, and what happened was they defeated the Fantastic Four and subdued them. And so they was holding auditions like American Idol for the fourth spot in their group. They was holding auditions for supervillains. And it was kind of hilarious. And then once I'm here, you know, it was kind of fun. They was holding auditions like American Idol. But then again, look at the price, 30 cents. So, you know, how could I afford something like that back in the 70s and stuff? Well, I got an allowance. My allowance was $10 a week. So if your allowance is $10 a week, what's 30 cents? Now, today's comics are almost $4 per book. So I'm like, you look up and it's like, see, this is the old school, old fresh newspaper stock. The newer comics have different stock, more like cardboard almost ish. Last book. Thing is that all these books, every one of these books, are delivered from the United States Postal Service. And in some areas, of course, you're hearing about the post. I'm pretty sure you heard about what's going on with the post office. About um, they're saying that they want to defund the post office because of this or this or this and this. It's all bullshit. A friend of mine, he works for the post office. I mean, he just got a job at the post office. He's been working there for less than 2 years. He was in the corporate world for almost 20 years, and then, of course, the corporate world is that, well, if your division closes, you're out of a job. They don't reassign you. You're out of a job. So it took him a long time to get this job, and now this job is in jeopardy. Number one, the United States Postal Service, they're very big services. They technically work 7 days a week. Sometimes you notice on Sundays they do deliver packages from Amazon and backup mail, and that happens. The thing is that, like for example, in my job, I work for the federal government. And what happened is we do use the Postal Service for letters, but we should use the Postal Service for packages. But what happened is they said that they made this. Some lobbyists decided to get UPS to deliver our packages, and they say that they were saying that the United States Postal Service was more expensive. Well, you got to think about this. Do the email, instant messaging and stuff like that. Most times you don't need to send out a letter anymore. You can just type an email and be done with it. But sometimes you still have to mail in checks. Sometimes you still have to mail in bills and stuff like that. I know I do. But try to support your local UPS. Trust me. Believe me, I'm going to tell you something. And plus what they're saying right now, that it's going to be so much fraud by there's going to be so much mail fraud by mailing in your ballots. To tell you the truth, want to tell you how that much is. Here's the funny thing is, and to tell you the truth, I want to tell you how much of a lie that is. Okay, because of COVID-19, they're saying that when you want to do your absentee ballot, voting by mail is what they call an absentee ballot. Absentee ballots are illegal. And I want to tell you something why, because some of the people voted for Trump did by absentee ballot. The only problem is that with absentee ballots, you have to mail in your ballot like weeks before the actual election. For example, my parents are going to vote absentee ballot because they don't want to stand in the long lines. They're like 60 to 70 years old. I mean, true, even though I'm like close to 50, but they're like mid 60 to 70 plus years old. They don't want to stand in line 2 hours to vote. Some have some health problems. So what happens? They're doing absentee ballot. So which means that they're going to be mailing. And the problem is that they're going to mail their ballot in. They're going to vote, and they're going to mail their ballots in long before on election day. I'll be walking to the polls because I don't care. So whenever the only time true, about a year ago it did close because of the polar vortex when it was like below negative degrees, and plus there's no heat in those things. There's no real heat in those vehicles. Trust me. But anyway, enough of the ranting. The last book of the day. I don't know. Whenever I hear stuff like that, I get mad. Okay. The last book of the day is Spectacular Spider-Man #5. I had this when I was a kid. I really did have this when I was a kid. And of course, Spider-Man was one of my favorite characters. Now, ooh, this guy says this is like a 9.0 to 9.2. Hmm. Now the funny thing is that if this is really a 9 point comic book, a grade of a 9 point comic book, it's very rare because in the books from the 1970s, they have this little spine rolls. And there's a little, I can feel a little spine roll right here. It's minor, but if I get this graded, it'll probably comes back as a 7 or 8. Plus, there's some like color, what they call a color break, where this is supposed to be white, but it's a little bit red right here. So it's not a 9 point something. I can tell you that. It's going to be more like a 7. But, okay. But you got to think about it. Other people grade their stuff right. I'm not a professional grader. I can look at a comic. I can say, this might end up being this. And am I close? I don't know. I never graded my stuff. But, yet. But anyway. I remember there was this character called the Hitman who was a hitman, and of course it's the Vulture, and he had Spiderman dangling like this. What kid wouldn't want this? But anyway, this man, I was like maybe five-ish when I read this, and this is one of the books that helped me read. So that's kind of cool. I got some more. That was just something. That was just a little bit of the stuff I just gotten. I just technically won 2 auctions today. I just 2 to 3 auctions within the past 2 days, and I just bought some stuff recently. So, and I got some eyes on like 10 other auctions. So right now, I've got an influx of technically a potential influx of 15 older books coming, which is kind of makes me happy. But anyway, sorry about the little rant about the post office. Sorry about that. It's just the fact that I just get incensed with that because a job is a job, and the problem is when you try to say this one job is ineffectual because of a certain reason. There's reasons why. If it's ineffectual, there's reasons for it. Okay. I know like I said, my best friend works at the post office, and another person I know works at the post office, and he was telling me some stuff that they do, and the stuff they have to do. I mean, you got to think about this. They have little GPS in their car so they can see where they're at all times. And if they say, "Hey, you was at this place for half an hour plus, what are you doing?" They actually micromanage their time so fast. A lot of times they don't have really time to sit down and eat. They have to and go because they got to get the mail out in a certain time. Not true. Sometimes some mail comes around about 6, sometimes around 12. It all depends. But oh well. If you thought any of these books was kind of cool, let me know. Drop me a line. Drop me a line down there. Say, hey man, that's kind of cool. Or, dude, why are you buying old shit? Oh well. Let me know what you think. If you thought my rant was kind of a little bit too out of place, even though it's kind of hit close to home to me, let me know about my rant. If you can't wait to see another video, let me know. I'll do another one, of course. Forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, forgot what I was going to say. But hey, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning as I'm doing this, and I tried to sleep the whole night and it didn't work. So I'm kind of up for maybe like another hour or two, and I might be hitting the bed again. Hopefully I'll get to sleep before 7 this morning, so I can try to have a somewhat decent day. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna bid you thank you for watching my videos. And this is the second time I'm filming this, because the first time I farted and I was like, should I leave that in or should I just redo this? That's why I redid this. But otherwise, if you like this comment, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. You want to leave me a note? Leave me a note. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know you're around. Let me know you're alive. And if you did typing, let me know that too. I know it sounds strange, but that's okay. I was thinking of something. But anyway, I want to say thank you.